we got on the road because I realized that I didn't need to be in an office to do my job and wanted to go to see cool places while also continuing to work and yeah, explore and have fun.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Nick.
And we are the Wandering Winemeisters. Come on in. So now we're standing in our kitchen. This space was originally supposed to be an L-shaped, and we ended up wanting to do a hallway just to keep a solid flow down the bus. We went to Home Depot, measured out some cabinets, and got pre-assembled cabinets. Reason for that was just saves time, saved money in the long haul. The prices of lumber during the pandemic were so high that it just didn't seem feasible to build them out ourselves. So we have here a pretty deep sink. When we lived in the city and in our apartments, we always had like a sink that had a divider in it, and I knew I just didn't want that. I didn't care if you couldn't stack your dishes on one side. I just wanted something that was one big space, and then on drive days we can put all of our plants into the sink and eliminate things crashing and getting messy. It just all stays in here, and if it does get dirty, we can just wash it out. Some other little things that we have as far as details go in our bus, we like to collect things wherever we go. We're from Virginia, so we have a nice little Virginia wall mount here. It's a bottle opener as well, serving two purposes. And then we have a cutting board of Vermont, because we spent the summer up there, and most recently we've been staying in Arizona. So we got some little jars that were hand painted and thrifted from someone, small shop, and some dried flowers for it. So just some little things to decorate the bus and kind of make it feel more like a home. So when we actually originally started our build, we only had this side of our kitchen, and we had an induction stove, but we quickly found out that running induction off of solar was just not the most feasible thing for us. So after living in the bus for 3 months, we went back to my parents' house and we built out the second half of our bus on the driver's side. And we added a propane stove from Greystone, some more cabinets, a spice rack, and then a dinette as well, which converts into another couch.
So we raised the center part of our bus that you can kind of see. So basically from the front window here until the bedroom in the back, we raised it 10 inches. We removed all the original windows that came with the bus and reskinned it with aluminum sheet metal, and then put our own RV windows in. That was definitely like the hardest project of the whole thing, I think. But we did it in about 4 hours, I think. So we had planned it like crazy. I had 6 of my friends over, and we had it like coordinated down to the minute that day to like basically cut the whole thing in half and cut across the roof, and then had 2 giant 4x4 T-frames built and used car jacks to just ease it up gently. And then we lifted it 10 inches so that I can pretty much reach all the way up and touch the ceiling. Cause yeah, I'm a little tall, so it would have kind of sucked to live in here all the time if I was walking around like this all the time.
So now we're hanging out a little bit deeper into the kitchen. We have a residential size fridge. It holds about 2 weeks of food for us when we're off grid. We're super efficient. We talked a lot about whether or not to get an RV fridge that's running on propane or just something that we can plug into the wall, and we ended up just going this route, and it's been such a great experience having this. It uses absolutely like no solar, no power, so it's that was a great decision, and I highly recommend to anyone living this lifestyle to go this route. We also added a wood stove just as a heat source for when we get to colder areas. We went with a little bit of a bigger one. This is the Woodsman, and we absolutely love it. It takes bigger logs, so we don't have to worry about chopping up them into really tiny pieces. And yeah, so far it's worked really great. So we also have a residential pantry. We also got this at Home Depot. It matches the rest of our cabinetry. When we did our roof raise, we happened to do it like just right where we could actually get a pantry to fit. We actually just had to shave the top off. So on the inside, you'll actually can see that the top is gone and it's a little bit curved, but other than that, we didn't lose much space, and it's a perfect space saver. We have so much room to store all our food, our crock pot, anything else we need as well.
It's a 2005 40-foot International, and we got it for $4,500, I think. So we went to a scrapyard in Virginia where they like retire all the buses. So there was like 200 or 300 buses that we looked through. So we basically picked it for the length. We wanted a flat front and then like the pusher. So there was probably like 10 or 15 of those that we could choose from. And then we just pretty much picked the one with the best engine.
So a week before our wedding, Nick's best man came in from the Netherlands and told Nick that he could live on the road with his job and just work remote and travel the country. And Nick was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go talk to Lauren about it. So he comes home and is like, Lauren, let's buy a school bus and just travel the country. And to which I said, we're getting married in 1 week. Please, let's not talk about this now. Literally the day after our wedding, Nick looks at me and goes, let's talk about buying a school bus. And a month and a half later, we owned a school bus. There was really no discussion about it. We just kind of were like, yeah, let's just dive in. We don't really, our best decisions tend to be the ones that we don't think hard on. We just impulsively go, and that's just been a really fun way to live life. We've always just kind of been super impulsive, and it's worked out so far, so why stop?
Well, we did enough research just to see that it's possible, but we definitely didn't do like any planning.
No.
Like ahead of time, basically. I was just like, we just need to find the biggest bus so that we can, not have to like go overboard with designing and trying to fit into a small space. Yeah, and then we just bought it.
So now we're hanging out in our bathroom. It's actually a wet bath, so everything in here can get wet. However, we do like to make sure when we're parked on not so level places, we're not pouring water down by the toilet. So we do have a shower curtain to just block off the space and kind of keep things dry. So also our toilet's not wet. As far as the toilet goes, we have a Nature's Head composting toilet. We have no black water on board. We do have about, I think, a 55-gallon gray water tank, and that houses the water from our kitchen sink, our bathroom, and our washing machine that we have on board. As far as the bathroom shower goes, we went with the Nebbia by Moen. It's extremely efficient. It only uses 1.3 gallons per minute. It's a spa shower, so that's really nice. It's a great experience when you're on the road and you kind of don't feel like you're in a bus anymore. So we carry 110 gallons on board. That lasts us about 2 weeks, give or take, depending on how active we are that week and how much we want to shower. So with our bathroom, it is all tiled. We have cement board, and then on top of our cement board, we did a ton of red guard, and then we didn't do a Schluter system. We have a shower pan. We didn't end up doing a custom shower pan just because we were not sure how it would hold up. So we just went with your standard 32 by 32 shower pan for a house. And then we did tile below where the toilet is. So now we're at the closet. For this area, we actually have pots and pans drawers that match the rest of our kitchen set. Again, we didn't really want to mess around with building our own. So we ended up seeing how our clothes fit in our kitchen, and then ended up just going to Home Depot and picking up some more of these, and it was installed within like 3 hours. It was super easy. And then up above, we actually have a pretty big closet. This is Nick's side, this is my side. I haven't quite invaded his space yet, but I do have plenty of room to hang more stuff if I need to. So that was really nice to not have to downsize everything that we had to go tiny. I think it kind of shows that you can make this kind of space work however it fits your needs, and you don't have to downsize in areas of your life if you don't want to. And then we have a washing machine on board. This has actually been a lifesaver. We only use it when we're in campgrounds, but more recently we've been in campgrounds a ton. It's a washer dryer all-in-one. It's a GE, and it is ventless, so it dries with water and heat. So it's been really great to have. We have 2 dogs on board, and when things get dirty, we can just throw things in and run it and not have to worry about it when we're on hookups. When we're not on hookups, we'll definitely go to laundromats more, but so far this has just been a lifesaver to have on board. If you have the space for it, definitely recommend it. Up above, we have just extra storage, things for laundry, our vacuum, and anything else that we want to put away that we don't access when we're up at the front of the bus. It wasn't really a hard adjustment. We've straight out of college, living in college apartments, we moved in together into a 700 square foot apartment, and we downsized to 200 square feet, which seems like a lot, but when the world shuts down and you're forced to work with your significant other all the time in your house, space already feels tiny. And sure, we had like a bedroom and a living room that we could like kind of separate during the day, but the way the hallway's set up in our bus, it kind of makes it feel a little bit separated. So it hasn't really ever seemed like we're on top of each other at all. So I think it wasn't a weird adjustment to live smaller, and if one of us needs space, we just go outside. So
well, we did our adjustment during COVID, so we had that, like, we had some figuring out when we like started working together every day, but we'd already pretty much figured all that out, and so moving into here wasn't really too much of a challenge. It's actually pretty kind of nice to be, I mean, we've been together 24/7 for like years.
I can't escape.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is the internet situation.
Yeah.
When we're working together, it can definitely feel really defeating when you're in a place where the internet's just not great and you're both using it. And he's a software developer. I'm constantly on Zoom calls all the time. So whether or not like he can push code through or I can be on camera is our only struggle. And sometimes we're like, get off the internet, and you know, you just have to take one for the team for a little while, but we make it work. But that's been our biggest struggle, is just internet.
So this is the utility closet where we keep all our, basically all the power and the water and everything. So starting over here, we have 1,000-watt solar panels on the roof coming down to the Renogy charge controller that we have. And then that drops down to our batteries, which are up under here that we can't get to right now. We have a Xantrax 3,000-watt inverter that sits under the bed, and we have the panels for that here. So we have 600 amp hours of AGM, so 300 usable and at 12 volt. And that's definitely something I'd upgrade, you know, to lithium ion. The internet we have a Mophie UB5 network. So that uses like AT&T towers. It's 4G. That works like 80% of the time probably. And then for the extra, we have like Verizon jetpacks for like hotspots. And then we use hotspots on our phones too. And then for signal boosting, we have 2 boosters. So we have like the Drive X WeBoost that we use while we're on the road. And then when we're stationary, we have the, I forget what it is. I think it's called the Reach. But it's like a 30-foot antenna. It's pretty sick. And that thing does incredibly. So we can get internet in some pretty remote places with that, which has worked really well. And then both of these have like interior antennas too. So we have the booster that there in the corner for the inside in here, and then we have the drive boosters up front. And then over here in the spaghetti mess is our water system. So we have a manifold, which was a great investment, I guess, because basically all our joints are right here, and we don't have any joints in the walls. So the only place that we can have leaks is just in this area right here, which we've certainly had when I was setting all this up. And then we use a propane water heater here, so that comes in and goes back to the manifold there. And then, and that has like all our valves for incoming shore water and filling up the tank, which is right here. So this is our bedroom. It's a little bigger than a queen. It's a custom mattress. Can't remember where we got that, but it was a little expensive for all the mattress stuff, but it's been super nice. But yeah, so a little larger than a queen. We built this back here because the engine's in the back, and I don't really have any pictures of it, but the back seat was kind of this shape, so we built around that to make like a little nook back here, which is probably one of our favorite spots. And we actually, when we picked the bus up the day we rode it back, Lauren and our friend that went with us like sat back there the whole time, and we were like, this is gonna be the spot. So we got custom mattresses for this as well, and that's pretty much just become the dog bed. So the dogs sleep back there. This wall is like a fancy texture wall that Lauren made one night, and like a geometric thing. So that's kind of neat.
Up front, we have our couch, which is convertible into a twin bed. It also has a ton of storage underneath. For building a couch that is convertible into a bed, I would definitely say if you're going to build it big, build it in sections. Maybe have 2 sections that pull out. It gets really heavy to pull out at times and to push away. So if you're able to build it in 2 sections, you can have a little bit more versatility, maybe make it an L shape. That's one of the things we really wish we would have done in here. We also have some armrests with cup holders and storage containers to store things like shoes or computers, anything else we want to store away when we're driving. Over on this side, we have our entertainment system. So we have a TV, and then we built a storage center just underneath to hide the wheel well, and got a bunch of baskets to store extra things like games, outdoor activity stuff, and anything else we need. I ordered these baskets off of Etsy. They were all custom made. Since we custom built this, I couldn't find anything in the store, so they were a little bit more expensive, but they've held up really great, and I think they make a nice little aesthetic. Both a pro and a con of this bus is that it's so big. Some days it's really nice, like on rainy days, it's nice that we can just hang out and all spread out. The dogs are not right on top of us, but at the same time, getting around, this is not stealthy, we do not blend in, and we are on all apps that a lot of times are like, oh, 30 feet max that you can fit. So it's hard being 40 feet in this bus. Sometimes I wish we would have challenged ourselves and gone a little smaller, because I don't think we utilize all the space in here as well as we could anyway. A lot of our storage is actually pretty empty. So I think we could have downsized a little more.
Yeah, probably 28 feet would have been perfect. Recirculating shower. I don't know, there's some cool systems to do it, because like then you could run your heated shower when you're off grid for a long time and not take like 30-second showers.
It was really nice to live in here and not have it finished, which I would definitely recommend doing, because you don't realize what you need in a tiny space. It's so different than being in an actual home or in an apartment. So living in it for 2 months, or 3 months, we were able to see like what worked and what didn't for us. And then we came back in October to Virginia, and we ended up building out the dinette, the kitchen, and the wood stove, and just making it fit between the pantry and the entertainment system. And that allowed us to kind of work out a lot of the pros and cons that we had. The dinette's a little smaller than we would have wanted it to be, but we only had so much space to work with because the wood stove is larger, so we needed more space for that. But we're so happy that we have extra prep station, a propane stove. That is just the best thing that we could have added to this bus. It makes cooking so much more enjoyable. Nick was threatening me that we were gonna have to only have cold meals if we didn't have a propane oven and we only had induction, and I just couldn't fathom living on the road eating only cold food for a year. So that's definitely something I recommend, is try to live in it and see what you need and what you don't, because you'd be surprised how little you really need. And if you need more, then you can just add it in as you go.
Yeah, don't be afraid to like redo things, I guess. Like if you build out something and don't like it, don't just stick with it. Like just cut it again and redo it, because we did that a few times when we were working our way through.
Yeah, everything in this bus has been pretty much done twice.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching our tour. If you want to see more, you can catch us at Wandering Winemeisters on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook.